So tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to speak about really the Democrat Party's thirst for power by any means necessary. Now, when we hear that terminology, we think about our great brother Malcolm X, but the Democrat Party actually takes that mantra as well. They don't care who they got to use, what they got to do to maintain their particular power. Now, their power doesn't help black people and other people that they're actually helping. They are just an end to a means, just to be honest with you. They don't care really too much about those people either, but they know they got to do something for them to get their votes. For black people, they know they don't have to do nothing for you. And you're going to show up anyway because they just know the tricks with you, just get you emotional, talk about racism, with you and say, oh, look, the Republicans, how racist they are. Ooh, you got to vote for us. They know that all they got to do is put up a black face in front of you and you'll vote Democrat without any kind of critical thinking whatsoever. They got you. I'm just being honest, the Democrat Party has your number. And the reason why you have such a difficult time even addressing what the Democrat Party do to the black community is because they got your number. They have studied you. And one thing they have learned is your emotional triggers. The emotional triggers for black people, because black people are a very, very emotional people, because I had to really think about that. And thank God I have been delivered from being that kind of emotional because especially political emotions. I'm going to say that much. Not the everyday emotions, but political, because you guys are hella on your feelings when it comes to politics. You have to like the person, right? And if you don't like the person, not their policies, if you don't like the person, you want to have the candidate to be some moral figure, right? Who cares about certain things? Because they're all politicians. You should never look to a politician to be any kind of moral figure for you. You supposed to be a moral figure. You supposed to be following the Lord's word and his precepts or whatever you follow to keep you on the straight and narrow and moral. Some people, it may be Islam. Some people, it may be just nothing at all, but they good people. Whatever you think it may be for you, follow that. But you do not look to politicians for morality's sake. But you can look to politicians to see if they align with certain things in your values. For instance, you should not be voting for politicians that advocate drag queens around children. Sorry, that's Christianity, Islam, all the major religions do not advocate something like that. For instance, that kind of degeneracy. But the Democrat Party doesn't care. Now, if you go back to the 2020 election, they had different people that you could have chose from. And because the Democrat Party has a great way of controlling you, you could even look into these other candidates that were younger. Their cognitive function was a lot better. And yet y'all rejected all those candidates. I mean, you want to vote Democrat. That's what I'm saying. You rejected all those candidates for Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden is your president, and you know how that's been going for Black America for sure. Everybody else been doing very well, at least getting some tangibles. But of course, we know the economy is wrecked right now. We know that. He didn't do good with that at all. He has an open border policy because he just basically opened up the floodgates. So y'all come on in while I'm in here. You can flood in by the millions, and we will make sure to put you in places that in the black communities. And the reason why we're going to put you there is because nothing's going to happen. Because, we put you in the white communities, white people are going to do something about it, And we put you in the Asian communities, well, the Asian people are going to do something about it, correct? With the black people, they're just going to complain and they protest, but they're really not going to punish us politically. So we're going to just do that, put you over there, and then we'll just go from there. Because really, the Democrats also in line with corporate America. Corporate America want low pay labor. They want that. They have laws on the books against that, but it's interesting in this country, they have laws, but they don't enforce all the laws because, it's illegal to hire people who aren't U.S. citizens or have any kind of paperwork to work. It's illegal. And the business owners should be going to jail, not just the asylum seekers. The business owner should be going to jail. See, if I had to enforce anything with immigration, I would come after the business owners. I wouldn't go after the people coming over, because if you cut off the supply of jobs, then and sending people to jail, and all you gotta do is send a couple of them to jail and make an example out of them, and then that will change the game, right? And then you do mandatory E-Verify for every job, no matter what it is. And if you're caught not doing mandatory E-Verify, you're going to jail. See, that's how you really, if you really want to put a stop to it, that's how you do it. You go after the business owners, not the people that's coming across. But the Democrats wants to run Joe Biden again. Now, if you look at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, logic speaking, Kamala Harris would be the better choice for the Democrats. Do not include people not liking her. Let's throw that out. We talking about logically. Kamala Harris is a younger person. She's not falling all over the place. She's, at least a little quicker in her mind than what Joe is. But see, they don't care about Joe. So I want you to see this clip here, because what the Democrats are actually doing to Joe Biden is actually wrong. I'm going to throw aside the politics for a minute. I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to look at this because I've been around a lot of older people in my day. Let's go ahead and roll these clips that was put together. I think Harris Faulkner from Fox News, actually, they put this together just for, where we got this from. But let's go ahead and roll that.
More than half of the women in my administration are women.
Are you concerned about the strength of the dollar right now?
I'm not sure that there's anything to say. God bless him.
Watching that tape, if you watch it and you rewind it and watch it again, do you know how embarrassing that is actually to the United States of America? It's embarrassing to the whole country. It don't matter what political party that you're a part of. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing before the world, because when you see people who are world leaders and they're looking at any kind of, chink in the armor of America, one way to look at that is their leadership. Another way to look at that is the people of the country. And you look at any great empires, they always fail from within. And right now, what America is dealing with is that America is actually falling from within, is not being attacked by a foreign power. Now, if you know how empires fall, they basically fall from within, they get in a very weakened state, and then an outside power attacks it and just finish it off. That's usually how it goes. But everybody is at each other's throats, no matter what it is in this country. Nobody agrees on anything. It's just, and it's amazing that I can see in a short amount of time how the Democrat Party brought in so much degeneracy, and that the Democrat Party has weaponized any kind of criticism against degenerate behavior. They fund it, they support it, they want it regulated that you can't speak against it. Do you realize the time of the virus that anybody that questioned anything about it, it was the Democrat Party that leaned on tech companies, forcing them to take people's pages down, take people's channels down, try to shut down people's websites from internet service providers. Oh yeah, they were going pretty far with it, even if they wasn't on a social media platform. They had put out a thing called a Disinformation 12 and all that. Like, you are targeting American citizens that are supposed to have freedom of speech, right? But yet you're targeting them because people said question what was going on during that time period. Now, if you look at that video with Joe Biden is clearly not fit for that job. the right thing to do, and even I don't support Kamala. We all know Kamala don't want to do nothing for black people. She said that. She said it, right? But the Democrats are so thirsty to hold on to power that they don't care how embarrassing it looks for the United States of America to have your president, your leader, your supposed leader of the free world, falling up the stairs constantly, falling off of his bike, falling at Air Force graduations. That they don't look at that as embarrassing. That, listen, y'all have to understand that what Joe Biden is representing right now is the fall of America. He's falling constantly. I've never seen nobody fall that much in my life like him. Usually when people fall like, let's say your job. If you got a job and you got a, elderly employee and that keep happening to them, what most employers say? Wait a minute. This employee here, he's a liability because he's going to hurt himself or he's going to hurt others. So we're going to have to sit him down and tell him, look, we appreciate your service and your time, but now it's time for you to retire because, clearly you need to, just go live your life and have a good time. Hey, go travel, go fishing, go ride your bike, eat ice cream, go spend time with your grandkids. I mean, I think you have, served this company enough. Example, Biden. The party should actually be telling him, listen, you finish out this term, but now we're going to have to run somebody else because clearly, you have done your service in Washington. We appreciate it, but we got to get somebody else. It's time for you to retire, sir. But no, they don't care because the crazy thing behind Biden, because a lot of times he don't know if he's coming or going. He got his days. He seemed like he owned it and maybe he can take his meds. But then he got days that he don't know where he at. Now, the days where he don't know where he at, and you see that he got all these cue cards. They're writing things down for him, right? Telling him what to say, telling him what reporter to call on, showing the picture of the reporter. I mean, literally guiding him every step of the way. Who's the people that's really in control of America? Because think about that. If Biden don't know if he's coming or going sometime, who's the people behind him that's really controlling the country? Who's the people that's really controlling the policies and just using him like an avatar? Let's think about that. Because it's not like he's the age he's at and he's extremely sharp. He's the best thing ever. Because, you got some people that's his age and they don't have them problems. They're not falling. They sharp on their mind. They doing great at their age. But Biden isn't. So who is the people that's behind the scenes really operating Biden like a puppet? Who is these people? Because notice, even during Obama, the floodgates were not open like that. Yeah, they were coming, but what a lot of people didn't report on, Obama was getting them on out of here too. Oh, don't let that fool you now. Obama, they said, it was deporting more people actually in his 8 years than Trump did. Now, Trump, when he did it, everybody paid attention to it, but Obama actually deported more people. And he was a Democrat. So, but Biden, whoever's behind the scenes in control, they say, you know what? Let's go ahead and open up the floodgates. Let's throw them in. Now, what I've been told in the border towns in Texas, they have so many of them that they're just on the streets. And this is the reason why Greg Abbott is gathering them up and say, okay, well, let me send you sanctuary cities, because they don't have nowhere to put them. They're coming in by the droves. They're coming in. Now, there's a bunch of Haitians that's coming in. Yeah, it's Haitians. But it's once again, it goes back to what I said earlier. Why don't take those Haitians that's down here in Texas, if you're going to ship somebody, and ship the Haitians to the black communities? That question always come back up. You never ship the Haitians or any black immigrant to the black communities where they could, we could acclimate them. But like I said, they never want to ship allies for black people, right? But during Biden, they're using this man clearly that needs to sit down. This man needs to actually leave the White House and just go deal with his health, enjoy his life, and let Kamala. And much as I don't like Kamala like that, but it'll be To me, I don't know, it would have a better look for the country if Kamala was running it at least for 2 years. Listen, you may think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you from the look of geopolitics. And y'all have to understand, y'all have to get out of the mindset of just the shores of the USA, because the United States is very good at making American citizens, especially black folk, thinking the world is just the United States of America, and it's not. You are a global citizen with more than 150 countries throughout the world. You are part of a global community, and the global community needs to see you at your best, because if they see you at your worst and see that you can't pick right and see that the things that they're seeing, then you have people that could be the enemies of America thinking, hey, let me go try to attack. Let me go try to undermine. Let me go try to do this, because right now they're weak, and look at the leader that they chose. The Democrats do not care about America. Listen, whether you like America like that, or you swinging a flag as a black American, I understand we have a weird relationship with America because, yes, we were born here. We built the country. That is totally true. But at the same time, they don't make us feel like we are American. I don't really feel American like that until I leave the United States and they see my blue passport and they say, oh, yeah, he's American. And I get actually a lot of the rights and privileges of being an American, because, yes, still Americans have certain rights and privileges that maybe other countries don't have. And we greatly appreciate that. The only time we get the experience as black people, any of you have traveled. You know what I'm talking about, how you're looked at different even than Africans are, or you looked at different than Caribbeans are. That blue passport, they treat black Americans totally different. If they treating black Americans a certain way in another country, it's because they're thinking you're African. But the moment you open your mouth and let them kind of know who you are, they think, oh, like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I've seen it. Now, of course, if I ever catch someone in a different country discriminating against an African because they know they're African in front of me, I'm going to say something. I got to say something. That's just who I am. I can't just watch somebody discriminating on a black person and I stand there and just watch it. But on the global stage, America just really not looking good. Then you look at this Ukraine thing. That Ukraine thing is a big finesse. It's a big finesse. All that money is shipping over there. Where's the books? Why don't they audit Zelensky? He's getting billions and billions of our tax dollars, and white people not saying a word about it. They're cool with it because that's their fellow white brother, right? Getting billions and billions of tax dollars and no audits. But then you got people in the United States that's going to jail. They got a $10,000 PPP loan. They going to jail for PPP, but this cat is spending billions of dollars, right? And nobody's saying, hey, let's audit the books. Let's audit that. Let's see where the money is actually going. Did you spend the money on the war, or are you pocketing the money? Well, what are you doing with the money? We need to see. Same thing with our politicians here in America. The citizens really don't ask for a forensic audit of the books and say, hey, what are you doing with this money? Why can't I get anything? You say you're giving it to this person, but are you really giving it to that person? Are you finessing and putting the money in your pocket? Because every time I look up, boy, your suits look about $2,000 or $3,000. Boy, your hair as a woman is laid very good every time I see you. Nothing, no hair's out of place with you. I never even see you. Your edges messed up as a woman, as a politician. Boy, when y'all get into public office, like I said, where all this money coming from? Because some of y'all only making, $150,000 to $175,000 a year. In this society, that's not really a lot, especially if you're from California or New York. And yet every time you politicians get in office, y'all become millionaires? How? Like, where all that money coming from? And no, that's the things that y'all don't question. And we talking about even the Democrats, that y'all don't even question these things. And we know the black Democrats is just clowns. So let's cue this video up. So this is your Democrats doing the Cupid shuffle. While you're suffering, they're playing. The Democrats, like I said, they don't care about nobody. They don't care about black folks for sure. That's openly. They don't care about Joe Biden whatsoever. They don't care about the country, because if they cared about the country, they wouldn't be trying to bankrupt it, sending all the money to Ukraine. They would be trying to make sure that our country stays strong, because this is the thing. And y'all have to understand this about the Democrat Party. Democrat Party are literally trying to ruin the country. Y'all, now I've said this before, don't you get caught up on this. My ancestors buried here a conversation, because I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm gonna repeat this again. There are people that will tell you that, but if it get bad for their family, you better believe they out of here. You better believe that certain people could say that to you, but let it get so bad where their lives and families is threatened. They have the means to get out of here and go somewhere else, and you're going to be stuck. I'm the guy that would tell you, have multiple options in your life. Have the option, even if you don't want to use it, but at least have the option somewhere else that you can say, you know what, I can go here if there's an issue or a problem. And I get many people messaging me every day saying, you know, I had an older brother. He said, Phil, I'm 66 years old. I am so tired of this country and what they do. I don't want to die here. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go to somewhere else, and I'll just try to whatever. Because once you remove yourself out of this crap with Democrat and Republican, you don't realize how the Democrats keep you stressed out. They really do, because they do so much to black people. They really do. They use us and abuse us and do us so wrong. Trust me, because the Democrats, if they were truly our friends, they know what to do to help black people. It is not hard. Listen, if the Democrats really cared about black people, California would be paying reparations already. They didn't need no commission. They don't need no study. They didn't need that. They could have paid reparations because the Republicans came to stand in their way in that state. New York, same way. If they wanted to really care about black people and pay reparations, it's nothing the Republicans could have done in New York State. They can just do it. That's what y'all understand. The Democrats play games with y'all, but the Democrats feel the exact same way as you say the racist Republicans feel about you. Both parties are in line with not giving you reparations, both of them. And the reason why the Democrats are getting more upset with you and getting so much contempt is because you don't supposed to be asking them nothing. All they're supposed to do is just use terms like racism, diversity, equity, inclusion, inclusive, for all, everybody, them little terms they use constantly, right? And you don't supposed to be asking for nothing black people. You should be happy just to vote, because remember, your ancestors died, so get out there and vote Democrat. But the Democrat Party doesn't care about you, me. They don't even care about Joe Biden. All they care about is their power within the country. They don't even care about throughout the world. But at the same time, they will use Joe Biden to promote degeneracy in African countries. Prime example, they want to threaten, President Museveni in Uganda. Same laws as in Saudi Arabia and the rest of the Arab world, but they only want to threaten him. And I wish President Museveni, maybe he said it already, I just didn't see it, but I wish President Museveni, he don't hold his tongue back. I wish he come out and say, hey, wait a minute. You got all them same laws that I wrote, we got in Uganda now, in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, y'all keep going over there. No sanctions on them. The UAE, a lot of people go to Dubai all the time. Same laws. You don't put no sanctions on the UAE? Why? What's up with that? Like say, oh, is it because we Uganda, because we black? That's why you do? That's what they got to come out and say. Like, call they card. Please, President Museveni, call they card. He needs to do it. Not the people in parliament. He needs to call it behind on their racism. But they want to promote degeneracy in the black world, because you got to understand, if the Democrats keep us in a degenerate state, then we will never progress as a community globally, whether in America or throughout the world. We won't progress. And as long as we don't progress, we will always be used, abused, and ran over and taken from, etc. But y'all have to understand the Democrat Party is very, very dangerous. And I'm talking about the party itself. Now, are they some good, well-meaning black people who are Democrats? Yes, they are. I've met some good, well-meaning black people who are Democrats that actually care about the black community, genuinely care, genuinely want to see us get out of our issues and problems. Just like I've met some good, genuine black Republicans that feel the same way. You got some black Republicans that's not raccooning. Just as much you got some black Democrats that's not raccooning. The only issue that they have is that they just believe in those parties too much instead of saying, you know what, let's come together as black people. Okay, you may have these ideas or have these, but let's come together because we both want to see our community do better. Why are we fighting each other instead of coming together and doing what we need to do? That's the only issue. This political Democrat Republican divide that has divided black people and have black people at each other's throats. And because when we attacked, they don't care if we Democrat or Republican. They don't care about that. They just say he's black, she's black. We attack. They don't care about your religion. They don't care about if you're single, married. They don't care about if you're grandma, grandpa. They don't care. And that's what we need to realize, and you need to come together in that manner if we want to do something. But I always tell y'all, always have a second place that you can go just in case it gets so bad here. And you got to be wise, because I told y'all a long time ago, I'm not going to be put in this position where I'm stuck. I told y'all that. I told y'all in 2018 to get your passports, not to say you want to go be a world traveler, but at least have it. That way you have the option to leave. Get it for your children. Get it for your small babies, because they need a passport too. Yes, your little baby could be 6 months old. Get that baby a passport. And that way, if you choose to use it, you choose to use it. If you don't, at least you got it. And keep up with your passport. As an adult, every 10 years, you have to renew your passport. Little children under 16, they have to renew their passport every 5 years. My little girl, this is her second passport she just got. You know, she got her first one when she got almost 3 or so, a little 3.5, almost 4. And she's got her new one now, right? So I'll go through that another 5 years and I'll renew it again and do everything I got to do for her, because my little child's always going to have a passport. You understand what I'm saying? Because we got to have options as black people. And sometimes having options, you could travel places, get certain medical procedures done that's, you know, inexpensive versus America, and actually have the same standards of America, but just maybe inexpensive. It's just a lot of options that you can do if you have your passport. Because this Democrat and Republican thing, if you let these Democrats get in here another 4 years, I'm telling you, America is really going to go down. And you're going to be shaking your head, be like, what in the hell happened to our country? What happened? I'm warning you. You put Joe Biden back in there, mark my words, you're going to be wondering what happened to this country. By the time that man get out of office, you think you got it bad now. Oh, you haven't seen anything. You haven't seen a thing. Trust me on that. You better prepare yourself if this man get back in there another 4 years. But the issue is that man can't get in there another 4 years without you black American people. And there's more stuff I'm going to cover with the Democrat Party coming. Oh, I got a whole lot of things coming what they're doing. Because the Democrats can pick and choose what laws they want to follow. They can care less about you, me, and anyone else. But let us break a law. Let us break a tittle of the law. We go on to prison. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. We greatly appreciate you being here. If it's your first time, make sure you click that subscribe button. You don't have to ghost watch. Click the subscribe button. We do our podcast nightly. The only time we don't do our podcast unless I'm filming for my other channels and I have to dedicate that time to that particular job that we're doing. But for the most part, we do our podcast about 6 nights a week. So make sure that you come to the channel, subscribe, click the like button, and we'll see you on the next one.